Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out ComicStation on PlayStation Mobile. This was made by No Static Soft, who has also made Quiet Please, Quiet Christmas, and a couple of other games on PlayStation Mobile that I can't remember off the top of my head. So, this is a comic reading app. One of the biggest things I always heard about the Vita was that people wanted to read comics on it and they would have to go through a lot of trouble on the photo browser and all that just to get that to work properly. Now he's put up this app which is to help with that. You need both a free Dropbox account and a CBR, CBZ or CB7 comic. Once you've made your free Dropbox account, you come back here and authorize this app by going to From Dropbox the first time. I will not show it off here because I'd have to re-download the app, and you will have to It'll open the browser for you. You just log into Dropbox. You'll make a folder in your Dropbox. Then you upload your stuff from your hard drive to the Dropbox folder. And then you come back to here and you can download and read comics. So let's go into From Dropbox and take a look. Now, everything in this app is just a tiny bit slower, and actually a fair bit slower than you might expect. It takes... Like, I know my internet connection is capable of something equal to about, I don't know, a megabyte a second. And I know every one of these comics is between 25 and 35 megs. So it's kind of weird to have these comics not download after about 2 minutes of waiting. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see here, just take note of this by the way, you can actually sort stuff into folders and it'll show up on Dropbox files, but it won't show up in the local files. So if you're trying to download like a whole comic series, you're not going to be able to keep them separated by folders. It just won't happen, which is a shame. But I'm going to show off how long it takes to download a comic. Now I know The Last Man 002 is anywhere between 25 and 35 megs. I know every comic I've uploaded so far is between 25 and 35 megs. So, and I know my internet connection is capable of anywhere up to... I just dropped my fucking phone. I know my internet connection is capable of anywhere up to a megabyte a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to time how long this takes to download from when I tap download to when it completes. So I'm just going to tap yes and immediately tap start, and we'll see how long this takes. I wish this was faster because it gets really annoying, especially since you can't queue up multiple comics to download and you can't let your device sit for too long. I've got my Vita screen set to turn off after about 10 minutes. And unfortunately, that would mean if I had a really, really big comic, like maybe the Judge Dredd complete case files or something like that, if I had one of those really big comics downloading, I have to come back and nudge the Vita every few minutes just to make sure that it doesn't end up, you know, turning the screen off and failing the download halfway through. That is really, really annoying. And here's the even funny thing, if you quit out and then come back into the app while it's halfway through a download, it won't delete the corrupt download. So there's no sort of error checking or anything like that, and that's even more frustrating for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why that's a thing. I don't mean to slag off No Static Soft or anything, but you'd think this is the sort of thing that would come up throughout the development process. You'd think there'd be some sort of error checking, surely. We're at the 1 minute 15 mark here for something that should have taken at most 35 to 40 seconds. I don't know if the low speeds on this are related to the PlayStation Mobile. Fuck, I dropped my phone again. I don't know if it's anything related to this, to anything related to PlayStation Mobile or anything like that, but yeah, this is taking a sweet time. So how are you all doing today? Rather cloudy here. People won't stop making noise. Really hard to record this video. You can probably hear someone mowing their lawn in the background. They've been doing that for an hour. I'm not kidding. I haven't been able to record because they've been doing this for an hour and I've been playing the Tukiden demo, and by the time I decided I wanted to record, nope, he has to mow his lawn for an hour. Bloody hell. We are at the 2 minute 15 mark and there is the download. Right as I say that. So 2 minutes and 15 seconds to download something that should have taken 40. That's really, really frustrating. Alright, so, and if we go to the comic list, as you can see here, I've actually downloaded The Last Man 5, and if we go back to my, oh god damn it. If we go back to my Dropbox, thank you, and go into test, you'll see that The Last Man 005 is in this folder. So it doesn't have any sort of way to organize this stuff into a folder, which is kind of depressing. Also, for some reason, it removes all the spaces and the names of the files. Now, something else I want to show off here before I actually go into the comic reading bit. The game actually the application actually unzips the comics and puts them into, like, the internal thing of the Vita, because CBR, CBZ, and CB7 are all compressed formats that hold comic pages. So, here's the thing. So, remember how I said that those comics are anywhere between 25 and 35 megabytes each? I've only read 2 of them at this point. Let's see how much room ComicStation is taking up on my memory card right now. 233 meg! Yep, that's a little ridiculous. He does give you the option to long tap and hold on this, and you can delete the image cache that it makes. So once you read a complete comic, you can just, like, delete the image cache, and most of that will be gone, and it'll have to regenerate the whole thing again. Not only is that annoying, especially when you're trying to read a really long series, here's the thing. It actually makes the comic browsing slower. Let me show you Sex Criminals first, because I have read this before. So, this game does have a set of controls. It does have a touchscreen control, as you can see here, but it feels really unnatural because there's no acceleration or deceleration. As you can see, it's really, really just like frictionless, or frictiony. It's really frictiony. And it just feels weird. It really does. I mean, like, I've got a good comic reader on my tablet, and it gives me a little bit of a sense of I'm actually sliding stuff around instead of just, like, pushing down and moving it like a brick. There's also button pressing controls, like you can press up and down on both the D-pad and the analog stick to move the page up and down. You can also use left and right to scroll through pages. Okay, you see how fast that this is scrolling here, like this? Yeah, I'll show off why that's sort of kind of a lie in a moment. But still, it is, once all the images have been extracted, it is really, really fast. I'll give it that. You can also press X and circle to move backwards and forwards between pages. And if you tap on the middle of the screen, it brings up this little thing here, which lets you go back and forth and, you know, just, you know, do what you want. And if you tap square for help, it doesn't tell you the button controls. I'd like to see that. Okay, so let's pick something that I haven't read yet. How about the one we just downloaded? Anytime now. Thank you. Just tapped R. So I'm going to put this really close to the microphone so you can hear when I'm pressing the button. And you can see how slow this is actually going. It does say that this will extract and it will take more time to actually read this the comic while you're turning the pages forward. It is really slow and it's not that pleasant. I would like the option to, like, extract all the comics straight away. Like, if I download 10 comics and then, you know, just want to extract them all at once to make it faster to read, I wish I had that option, but I don't. Kind of annoying. So yeah, as you can see, it's taking a really long time. Like, as soon as the page loads, I'm pressing the R button, and it takes a good 4 or 5 seconds to move to the next page. It is... I can understand why this, again, would be a limitation of PlayStation Mobile. Like, see, it feels like this page is just completely frozen altogether, because I can't do anything now. I have the feeling that it'll do something eventually, but... yeah, sometimes it just outright freezes like this, and you feel like you have to, like, close and reopen the app. It's just a little bit disappointing, really. And you can't turn it vertical, by the way. No vertical of any kind. No way to make the screen vertical. It's horizontal or bust. It really is. I'm sorry. It's just... people were scrabbling for a comic app, and I feel like this doesn't really fulfill the need. I mean, I will admit, I'm of the special case that I already have a tablet, and I can read comics on my tablet really easily, because I've got Perfect Viewer on it. But just, I can see why people would want to read their comics on the Vita, because to be fair, the comics look actually really well rendered. There's no zooming in or zooming out, but it does look really nicely rendered. Everything looks nice, and everything's nice and readable. I don't know how older comics would hold up with, you know, less stronger art styles or, you know, less definition to them. And yes, the game is still frozen. The app is still frozen. I just wish it felt like it had a little bit more effort put into it. I feel like it's been pushed out a little bit too early without testing the actual problems with it. Like, just, it's so slow, you can't batch download, there's no folders for the local files. It's ultimately a disappointment. He might be able to fix some of this. Don't know how reliant it would be on the PlayStation Mobile redistributable thing to actually, you know, improve for this sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. So yeah, top 5 things you need to add. A, make it faster. B, add batch downloading. C, add local folders. D, you want to have the ability to auto-extract every comic so they're all faster to read. And maybe E, have a sort of, what am I thinking? E, make it so that you can maybe delete the CBR file, because it keeps the CBR file around, so if you end up deleting the local cache, maybe make it so you can delete the CBR file and save a little bit of room, because I'll just quit here. I mean, like, after reading that one comic, I've lost 30 megs on my memory card. I've got a 64 gig memory card without a gig free at this point, so I've got nothing to worry about, really. But for smaller memory cards, that may be an issue. This has been Blue Maxima taking a look at ComicStation. Really disappointing. Needs a lot of tweaks. I would have given it, if I were the developer, I would have given it for free and had like a limit of something like 5 or 10 comics, and then say if you want to read more, pay $1.99 to unlock, because, I don't know, I feel like I've been slightly ripped off. To be fair, when the app isn't crashing, and when the app doesn't, and when there's like huge lists and several minute download times, when all that's said and done, it actually works okay. But when it freezes outright on a page like this, it just, I feel like I've wasted my money. It's only $2, but I still feel like I've wasted my money. I feel like I'll never get any use out of this app. Shame, I might have actually used it if it was a little bit more convenient and a little bit more just, you know, maybe if you released like a PC standalone app that helped you upload stuff to Dropbox or something, so it was a little bit easier, but no. I'll see you all next time.